Hi everyone, this is Kevin from Supernatural Selection. Are you an independent creator? Do you have a webcomic or an Etsy store? Do you 3D print things? Or are you just looking to get some word out for your Discordian cabal with social terrorism? Well, we'd love to help. And David, I believe you've got some details about how we can help.
Why, certainly. If you go to supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact, that is supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact, you can learn how to advertise with us.
That's right. I believe the rate is $2 per episode. You can't beat that with a stick.
I mean, trust me, we've tried.
Yeah, that's cheap. That's literally cheaper than dirt.
Mm-hmm. And best of all, if you're not sure how to write an ad, we'll do it for you. We'll even record it.
Absolutely. Just let us know what you need in the ad, and we'll be happy to do that for you.
And again, that URL is supernaturalselectionpod.com/contact.
And now, back to the show. Yeah, if I need to, I'm gonna boost the shit out of that post.
Yeah, bend that post over.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host Kevin. With me this week are Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how are you doing today?
I'm full of pizza, so I guess I'm doing better than average.
Oh, that's good, because you know what's funny? This is the second episode in a row where I'm full of soup.
Soup? Well, you have soup then.
Yes, I had soup. And David couldn't join us this week, and we have a special guest. A little background. Many, many moons ago, we had another podcast. Mike, myself, our late friend Paul, and our guest called the Smagcast. And, well, I thought it would be great if we brought one of our old podcasting buddies back, a man that I've known for probably
25 years.
25, 26 years, something like that. It's Warren. Warren, how are you?
Hello. I am good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we don't have any,
I don't have any more parents to die, so.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, welcome to my club. Yeah. It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
So, we don't have any housekeeping to cover. David is still working diligently on the zine, so more news when that becomes available. So, it's a weekend weird. And, I did not think of an order, so how about I just go first, Mike?
Sure. Sounds good
Right.
to me.
So, again, Warren, what we do is we're going to read this, and we're going to comment, make fun of, and stuff like that there.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, we're riffing on it. Think MST3K, but news, or the F+.
Okay.
So, first article I've got is from the Daily Star. This article's by Eve Wagstaff. I love this. All right, so dailystar.co.uk. Article is, men with one name in particular are more likely to believe flat earth conspiracy.
Let's see. Hold on. Is it a first name?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can guess.
Yeah, before we get started, you guys make some guesses what you think the flat earth names are.
No offense to any of these I know in real life.
Also, as usual, I have not vetted any of these articles, so I don't know the name.
I'm going to guess Kyle.
You're going to guess Kyle. Okay. How about you, Warren?
Steve or Harold?
Ooh, good choices. No offense. I'm going to go with Michael.
Okay. So yeah, you haven't read it yet either. So you
No,
don't know.
no, I haven't. I'm going to go with Michael.
Hey.
I'm just saying. I'm just fucking saying.
I'm going to go with Kevin.
Okay. Well, fine. Fuck you then. No, just Anyway, despite scientists proving the world is round countless times,
Like even stretching back to freaking, the Greeks and, Egyptians.
yeah, they had that calculated already, right?
Yeah, I mean they had a. If I'm remembering right, they had it off by a good bit.
But they still knew it
They
was a
still
globe.
were in the ballpark.
They knew it was round because they could see ship mass rise on the horizon.
Yeah.
Right. Logic and shit. Yeah. And it's just this fact they don't subscribe to. According to new research, over 1 in 10 Brits, 12%, are convinced the famous Apollo 13 moon landing was faked. The study by Mr. Q,
That sounds dubious.
which was based on TikTok post data and a poll of 2,000 people, discovered just how deep into the world of wacky conspiracies the nation has fallen. Nearly half of Brits, 48%, admitted to believing in at least one weird plot. The most popular being that the November 1963 moon landing was filmed in a television studio. And strangely enough, men with the name Andy, 72%, were the most hell-bent on believing a wild theory.
Conspiracy Andes.
Conspiracy Andys.
No, we're all off.
Yeah, Hey, Darth Plato. Are you a believer? Get back to me, let me know. Overall, men are more likely to be conspiracists than women, 52% versus 48%. It's not much of a margin. Of the top 10 names to believe in conspiracies in the UK, just 2 are typically given to women. Names most likely to believe in conspiracy theories are Andy at 72%, Craig at 67%.
Sounds like a Craig thing to do.
Yeah, it does. Fred at 60%, Thomas 60%, Sophia 59%, James 58%, Stephen at 58%, Brian 57%, Lorraine 56%.
Good lord. Are these people all from like 1960?
Well,
I know, it sounds like
they're Britain.
It sounds like the cast of a Saturday Night Live season no one watched. And Dean at 54%.
Warren was the only one to get on the board.
Yeah. Man, too bad we didn't bet money on that. Actually, it's a good thing we didn't bet money on that.
Conspiracies are weird to me because if you ask the average person, do you think your government lies to you? What do you think the percentage of people who agree yes to that would be?
Oh, I'm going to guess like 90%.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Conspiracy theorists are just people who have a narrative that they attach to that.
Which we've talked about the narrative and how fucking awful some of the narratives are. But like, yeah, the narratives, I don't know. It's like I said, my whole problem with some of the conspiracies is I saw a pretty light in the sky. Here's how the government is stealing my sperm with aliens.
Well, schizophrenia is real, but but just believing the government's lying to you.
I feel like that's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 1 in 10 people in the UK, that's 10%, believe humans have already made contact with extraterrestrial life and that this is being kept from the public. Not to mention, 7% believe Area 51 in the U.S. houses multiple forms of alien life. Well, duh. An additional 5% also think that famous musicians across the world deliver subliminal messages to the population through their lyrics to control us. You remember we talked about that on the Grand Conspiracy Theory episode, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, God. And another popular topic is the theory that the Illuminati control pretty much everything across the world, which 1 in 20 Brits believe.
So the music thing, it's like, when I listen to this music, I get horny. I wonder, they must be subliminally controlling me.
Yeah.
Or everybody that listens to Taylor Swift seems like a zombie, so
Yeah.
they must be being controlled.
Right.
And,
Which-
that's, that's just, teenagers and young adults.
Yeah. Or me with
Not to
XTC.
offend anyone in the
Yeah, I
don't
know
actually
we-
have an opinion on Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I know we got some Swifties out there. I am not a fan of her stuff, but if you are, great. One of the most popular conspiracy theories on TikTok details how a reptilian humanoid species lives among us. Woo! There's our boys. With
Ric Flair? Mm-hmm. No, Ric Flair.
Yeah, it was Ric
Yeah, it was
Flair.
Ric Flair. You're right. Yeah, I was right the first time.
With A-list celebrities and world leaders all supposedly part of this race. TikTok hashtag data found a staggering 54,600 videos, all detailing how the lizard race has infiltrated our world, including so-called, quote, evidence that certain celebrities and members of the royal family are, in fact, reptiles. Now, if there's one group I would believe are lizards, it's the British royal family.
No, that's just genetics.
Yeah, lizard genetics. I know. There are also those who reckon the Earth is flat, with some going so far as to say gravity and space don't exist. Oh no. And the planet is surrounded by an ice wall known as the firmament to stop us from falling off.
So, the thing I don't understand about these people is, like, how do they think we stick to the ground?
You know, my theory is it's like the electric universe. We're held on by static electricity, like when you rub a balloon on your head.
Yeah, but then you'd, like, your feet would be tingly all the time.
Yeah, I know. Aren't they? Oh, wait, I've got diabetes. That's
That's
right.
to say, that's the
My bad.
diabetes.
That's the beatus.
But yeah, I just... Yeah.
No, I do like this next statement because this is pure optimism on their part. With a theory this far-fetched, you'd be forgiven for thinking nobody could possibly believe it. However, 3% of Brits do. No, I fully know people are stupid. One of the most viral clips Flat Earth shows Elon Musk discussing it with controversial podcaster Joe Rogan. In it, Rogan asks Musk, have you given any consideration whatsoever to the Flat Earth movement? It has been viewed more than 7 million times, and some of the comments are startling. One read, the firmament is the sole reason I believe the Earth is flat. While another user pinned, the comment section knows Earth isn't a spinning ball. Someone else added, I don't believe in flat Earth, but Elon's reaction and his face now made me think twice. And that's
This is a
the
guy
article.
Who launches rockets and
Yeah.
lands them on a moving target?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
are we trying to associate him with the flat Earth movement?
Well,
But it sounds like something in his reaction to the question made
yeah,
him
I
go,
think
"Ha-ha."
he got a look on his face that they probably interpreted as, see? And he's sitting there going, I can't believe you just asked me that.
A man who has, a lot of his personal fortune tied up in the idea that the Earth is in fact a sphere.
What if he's in on the conspiracy?
I mean,
though?
that's true. I mean, if you are one of them, but
look, the conspiracy already involves every airline pilot and amateur pilot on the planet.
yeah, every
Single one.
every like weather forecaster and
Every navigator, every captain of every ship.
yeah, there's just,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, when you got that many people, like when a good quarter of the population is in on a conspiracy, I guess nobody's safe from being a mouthpiece of the conspiracy.
I guess that means we're part of the conspiracy, which is kind of fun. We're pulling the wool over these guys' eyes.
Well, they're the small daring fraction that gets it. And I saw a argument once, and I kind of believe it, like where some of this comes from. We've had
Lead in the water?
We've had decades of movies which show some plucky guy or scientist. Not gonna have to be a guy, could be a woman.
Just say Jeff Goldblum.
Some plucky scientist that has goes running contrary to everybody else, and eventually he's proven right, even though it's way against everybody, all other normal science and everything, and he's trying to spread the word, that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And eventually he's proven right. So that could be a kind of, I wouldn't say subconscious, but,
It's a learned
yeah,
thing.
it's just kind of,
it's a meme that you believe is real.
yes, these people, see this. They don't think consciously, but it does kind of, play
Right.
into this, I'm right, and
Yeah.
eventually everybody will see that I'm right.
They'll see.
Yeah.
Warren, I got to tell you a great conspiracy theory that we came across on this show involving Flat Earth. And I want to gauge your reaction to this, okay? So, the entire idea of the Flat Earth being surrounded, like they said, by the ice wall called the firmament to keep us from, falling off. The theory...
Keep the oceans in and stuff.
Yes. Yeah. The theory is that beyond the ice wall is another pocket in the ice that's another flat Earth. And it's a bunch of flat Earths on a giant ice ball.
On a sphere?
Yes. The theory is that it's a flat Earth on a giant sphere. They're so close to getting it, dude.
So it's like a flat Earth Dyson sphere?
Yes.
Sort of.
Except the
Well,
outside.
yeah. Yeah. With a bunch
Flat
of
Earth
tiny...
disco ball?
Yeah. A bunch of tiny suns and moons over every single one of these.
I mean, that'd be fine if we hadn't launched rockets into space and looked at Earth from space.
Yeah.
But no, that's all the NASA conspiracy. They're lying to us.
Yeah, you know what NASA stands for? Never a straight answer.
Yes, that's right. I forgot.
And
about that.
and you forget that it's a dollar sign, not an S.
Oh yeah, because they're all about the money, even though their budget is continuously being cut.
Yes.
They get only a fraction of the money that the military gets, which also has to spread the propaganda of the ball Earth because they're heavily invested in satellites and things themselves.
So that does remind me, Warren, are you a flat earther or are you one of us globe cucks? Because they call us globe cucks.
I guess I'm a globe cuck.
Awesome.
Globe Cucks unite.
Yeah, I want a shirt that says Globe Cucks Unite. Well, that's my first story, and I just the sheer numbers involved in this.
My issue with the flat Earth thing
Okay.
is that it was a troll to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no way to separate out how many people that vote in these things are just fucking trolling.
I mean, yes, there's not an insignificant portion of the people that, quote, identify as flat earthers are actually just trolling.
Right. It's kind of like saying you're Jedi.
But the unfortunate fact is, I would guesstimate at least 50% of them are true believers at this point. Now, it's several years ago, that probably was a lower amount. But now I think it's, it's gotten higher as they see what they think is it as legitimacy on it. It starts attracting more, people that believe it.
Well, my thing is all the videos of people doing experiments to prove that the Earth is not a globe, and then the experiment proves that the Earth is a globe, and they're like, well, that's obvious that experiment was wrong, so we're going to do another one.
Yeah.
That reminds me of in college I took speech class like everybody does.
Right.
And for my persuasive speech, I actually did the moon landing was faked.
I remember when you did that, because you almost convinced yourself, didn't you?
No.
Okay.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun to put together.
Right.
And I feel like I did a pretty good presentation. The problem was there was this girl that I really wanted to ask out, and right after I finished doing my persuasive speech on the moon landing being faked, I was feeling real confident and proud of myself, and so I went to ask her out, and I asked her out, and she mumbled some incoherent bullshit and ran out of the room.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And then I was like, oh, this might not have been the best time.
Did she think you were?
Did you convert her?
No, I don't. I think she thought I was fucking crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's
she
fair.
thought he
All right.
believed what he was saying.
Need a giant neon sign behind you just flashes the word satire repeatedly.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I probably got more out of that story than I did a relationship.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God, that's like in speech class when I argued that the pyramids were 10,000 years old. or no, 12,000 years old and built by a previous ancient civilization, and I lost the debate because my opponent said they were built by Jesus Christ in heaven and just put on the earth a couple hundred years ago.
Jackson, Mississippi, people.
Yep. Welcome to Jacktown. So, Mike, what have you got for your first story?
So, I have from Gizmodo on August 19th.
I swear to God, if you got the same story I do, I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
Well, I put it in thing. If you put
Okay.
it, if you also copied
I
it.
don't think it is, but like I got worried for a second.
Astrophysicists may have found the source of the mysterious WOW signal.
Oh no! Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. On August 15th, 1977, the Big Ear Observatory in Ohio picked up an unusually intense radio signal. The signal was so unique that it prompted astronomer Jerry Emmon to draw a red circle around it and scribble the word "wow" to highlight his amazement. Since then, the WOW signal, as it came to be known, also the McConaughey signal.
The wow.
No, not McConaughey. Who's that actor?
Owen Wilson.
Wow. Owen Wilson. The Owen Wilson signal
Wow.
has puzzled scientists who were unable to pinpoint its source. However, a new project dedicated to solving the mystery of the signal may have had a breakthrough. Using archived data from the former Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico.
Man, I still hate that we lost that thing.
The Arecibo WOW project uncovered similar data that suggests the 47-year-old radio signal was a result of a rare event that caused a massive cloud of hydrogen to shine super brightly. A paper describing the results will soon be submitted for peer review with a scientific journal, the team's project page states. Abel Menendez, Associate Professor of Physics and Astrobiology at the University of Puerto Rico, who led the study, admits that he only began diving deep into the WOW signal earlier this year. Quote, I have to confess, the WOW signal for me and for many astronomers was something like a fluke, he told Gizmodo, so I never really paid attention to it. For years, Menendez has been researching habitability across the universe by observing stars and the planets that orbit them. In May, he stumbled upon a video explaining the WOW signal, and it got him hooked. Quote, I thought, well, that would be something amazing to find in our data, Menendez said. The WOW signal garnered so much attention because of how relatively small its bandwidth was while lasting for 72 seconds of unusual intensity. It had a narrow bandwidth near the 1420 megahertz hydrogen line.
The hydrogen line?
Yeah.
Is that like a gas main?
It's the spectral line.
Oh, for hydrogen colored. Gotcha.
For it to have this narrow of a frequency but still this strong and pack this much energy suggested that it was an artificial signal. This obviously sparked alien rumors, with some believing the transmission was sent by an extraterrestrial civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the problem here is that, hydrogen by itself doesn't shine that brightly.
No.
And seeing a very bright hydrogen spectral line is just, doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I know what caused it.
Because if I'm not wrong, like even stars that are, are really young and are fusing hydrogen to helium probably have a brighter helium line, I would think.
Yeah, because it's the helium
that's
conversion that's doing it.
Yeah.
But I know what caused the flash, Mike.
Huh.
Aliens.
Of course, aliens.
It was fucking aliens. It was still aliens.
You got to have the hair and the hands to do.
It was Jesus.
Aliens.
It was damn you. Damn you. And it wasn't a Christmas tree either.
The researchers behind the AWOW project wanted to see if another similar signal could be found. So they looked over data gathered by the Arecibo telescope from 2017 to 2020. They found similar narrowband signals near the hydrogen line, though less intense from the original WOW recording. The WOW signal wannabes were a result of interstellar clouds of cold hydrogen in the galaxy. All there were 2 orders of magnitude less bright. Menendez and his team believe that for the WOW signal to be so bright, it may have been caused by a sudden brightening due to a transient source of radiation, such as a magnetar.
Which is a quasar, but
It's not a
pulsar, but magnetic.
It's not a magnetic centaur, no.
No, I didn't think it was, but thank you for clearing that up for everyone.
I'm not quite sure what you might be right about the magnetar. I'm not read up on them.
Pretty sure I am, but I'm gonna look that up while you read.
It says it right here. I should just read the next line.
Blah, blah.
A magnetar is a type of neutron star with an extremely strong magnetic field, and it could excite the atoms in the hydrogen clouds to produce a sudden brightening. That's rare, Menendez said. What's the chance of a magnetar being right behind one of those clouds and have strong enough radiation to excite that cloud for someone to be looking in that direction at the same time? Menendez and his team will run follow-up observations using the Very Large Telescope in Chile to identify the exact clouds behind the signal found in the archive data. The astrobiologist is determined to learn more about his newfound obsession. Quote, I learned so much about the WOW signal in the last few months compared to my whole life, he said.
I'm just glad he didn't discover a flat Earth video.
Yeah, because imagine him like an actual
astrophysicist,
all of a sudden becoming flat earther.
Oh, God.
That'd be weird.
I feel like that's the kind of person you'd have to, like, string up.
Just give him like I don't know.
Sedative?
Yes.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah. This whole story's a little bit disappointing for me because...
Yeah, the WOW signal's like one of those, every time there was any kind of like one of these specials we grew up with about, aliens and all that, they always talked about the WOW signal.
Yep. Well, it's like anytime they talk about, the sea, they always brought up the bloop. So.
Yes, the big bloop. Turns out it's just whale farts. Not really. But.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
The WOW signal, I mean, it's still, neat because of the rarity of the thing occurring, but, like, I also feel like if it was an alien civilization, it would have been, like, more to it.
Yeah, that would have been follow-up. Like, you don't just, like, if you're an alien civilization, you just don't, do the interstellar equivalent of yelling, hey, and then not saying anything for, the next couple of decades.
Unless it's the alien radio equivalent of a species going, fuck, just before they died.
Could be, yeah.
Or it's the alien equivalent of, like, pulling onto your teacher's lawn and doing donuts.
It
was just an alien, like, it was a alien, what's it called?
Teaser?
Where you ring the doorbell and run away.
Ding Dong Dash.
Yeah, Ding Dong.
Ding Dong Ditch. My
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it's an alien Ding Dong Ditch. Because, we come out of our door, and you darn aliens!
Or like that time I woke up and Barry and Austin had hung pretzels from every branch of my fucking pine tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or wrote the something in pretzel dough on your...
Spam. They wrote spam. Actually, that was Austin and Casterline. They
but it was on your path to the street.
Yes, on the walkway to the street, and it bleached the concrete for over a decade.
Yes, you could still see spam years.
I think
later.
it just cleaned that one spot.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it was all over.
That's why I said it bleached it into it. So yeah. Fuckers. They thought about putting it in my mailbox, but they're like, no, it pisses Mom off. She actually thought the pretzels in the tree was hilarious.
Yeah. At least, birds will come eat that shit and stuff.
Well, we got them down,
yeah.
but still. So yeah, the WOW signal, you made me sad.
Oh. That's my job here.
I know it is.
To piss in your Cheerios.
Please don't do that. They're expensive now.
Okay. Yeah, the quote-unquote inflation making your Cheerios expensive.
Yes. I didn't say it was inflation.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I say quote-unquote.
Corporate greed. But, like, Warren, what did you know about the WOW signal going into this? Like, you'd heard of it?
No.
Really? Okay.
I'd probably heard of it at some point, but it got categorized as unexplained signal.
Right.
Which, without a pattern, it's hard to assign significance.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that was part of the problem.
You're in a universe where, like, billions and trillions of things are happening at any given moment.
Right.
You just happen to look up and see a poof.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like the universe farted, and you're like trying to assign significance to it when it could.
Which
Yeah.
I'm sure there's religions that amounted to as much.
Yeah. But the idea is they saw this this signal, and on the sheet where it was visible, you know, the spike happens. Dude wrote "Wow" next to it with an exclamation
it was
point.
just a one of those tractor-fed printer sheets just coming out. I think it's probably
just
was-
coming out.
It's just coming out. Yeah, just a bunch of numbers, but of course he could read the matrix. And
Yeah.
And he went running down the hallway with a train of paper.
I
Yeah.
can only imagine that's exactly what happened.
guys, look at this.
Him and his giant Bill Gates glasses and his poofy haircut and his bell
had
bottoms.
the really wide collar.
Oh, yeah, and a tie that you could use as a sail. We just made a character out of this dude, and I want to apologize if he's still alive, but... so, yeah, that's kind of sad, but hey, it's still kind of a neat thing that we saw something that rare.
Yeah.
So, we're going to do one more story, and then we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
So, my next story is from Gizmodo, which is why I was like, you son of a bitch. This is by Lucas Ropek. It's September 3rd, 2024. CIA may have derailed research into Havana syndrome.
That's something we've covered before here.
We've covered it a lot, actually. We've done like 2 or 3 updates on Havana syndrome, which, Mike, can you give us a quick rundown of it before we get started? Because I don't know how much of this Warren's familiar with.
So, a bunch of U.S. Dignitaries in the
Cuba,
in the
U.S. consulate,
yeah, I was trying to think of the other word for it. The that's
embassy.
it. Embassy.
Yeah.
In the embassy in Cuba, they started feeling bad and having weird symptoms, and because of, I'm trying to remember why they started trying to assign it to
Because
a
it was
weapon.
only specific people,
Yeah,
and it was like important people.
and also didn't some of them report feeling like they were vibrating? Or
Yeah, there
something
was
like that?
reports of vibration and strange buzzing sounds and stuff like that. Which
Feeling like which I mean I could be like, well, that's just having a fever, right?
I've never vibrated when I had a fever.
It felt
but
like
okay.
you were vibrating. I was vibrating sometimes, like
I've never had that.
shivering.
That's different.
It could be
But-
vibrating.
I get that
Anyway,
when I have low blood sugar.
okay, see, that's different. I've been there too. But it's been a while since we heard anything about, quote, Havana syndrome, the bizarre brain malady supposedly impacting droves of U.S. service members all over the world.
Yeah, there were a couple of other
Yeah.
embassies that attributed some form of Havana, but Havana was the first.
Yeah, that's why it's called that, too. Now, a new report suggests that the Central Intelligence Agency recently helped derail a government probe into the phenomenon. The National Health Institute has been researching the bizarre health incidents, but has now said that it will end that research, quote, out of an abundance of caution. According to a report from CNN, the research is being halted because an internal probe of the program found that some research subjects have been, quote, coerced into participating in the program. Forced participation in
Aren't, like,
research...
all research participants coerced to one degree or
I mean,
another?
you're
You're
asked,
asked,
but you're
yeah.
not- but not. See, I think that taints the data when you tell someone they have to participate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're all bribed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it says forced participation in research is considered deeply unethical. CNN also notes that some participants in the program had, quote, previously claimed that the CIA made them join the research as a prerequisite for getting health care. Ooh, yeah, okay, that's bad. That's some blackmail shit. Of course, it's the CIA, so...
Yeah.
In a recent statement, the NIH said that its, quote, informed consent policies related to the study were not met due to coercion, although not on the part of NIH researchers. Given the role of voluntary consent as a fundamental pillar of the ethical conduct of research, NIH has stopped the study out of an abundance of caution, the health agency noted. Oh, God. Mark Polymerapoulos. Fuck. I hope they don't keep using his last name. A former CIA official who has claimed to suffer from Havana syndrome previously told CNN they wanted us to be a lab rat for a week before we actually got treatment at Walter Reed, and at bare minimum, that is unethical and immoral. Polymeropoulos had also previously said he thought that the CIA's senior leadership ordered personnel to participate in the research. Man, reading that last name makes me really glad I don't drink anymore. Like, I'd be Polymeropoulos. Gizmodo reached out to the CIA. You dumb fucks. And the NIH for comment. The agency previously denied that personnel were ordered to participate in the program. Nobody is quite sure what to make of Havana syndrome. Some people think it's a hoax. Others, more controversially, say it's evidence that some sort of sonic weapon exists that has been zapping U.S. personnel without their knowledge. Experts have yet to reach a consensus, and the syndrome has been blamed on a host of culprits, including mass psychogenic illness and crickets. Crickets. While the NIH's study states that there is no evidence of significant brain injury in the afflicted, multiple previous studies that were not connected to the government seem to have stated the opposite. A 2018 study published by researchers at the University of Pennsylvania's Perelman School of Medicine found that Havana sufferers appeared to have symptoms, quote, similar to those found in persistent concussion syndrome. Yet there was no evidence of blunt head trauma. Another study, conducted by researchers with the same school, published in 2019, showed, quote, significant differences in brain tissue and connectivity when compared to healthy individuals. Further quote, the areas implicated in the patient's brains, namely the cerebellum, as well as the visuospatial and auditory networks, aligned with the neurological symptoms that were observed in the patients, said the lead author, Rajini Verma, PhD.
That's racist.
I know, it's terrible. A professor of radiology and head of the Decipher Diffusion and oh my God, let's just Decipher imaging lab at the school.
But it had something to do with concussions and stuff?
It's connectomics in precision healthcare research.
I thought the C was going to be concussion.
No,
Okay.
I wish. I would have read it then.
Okay.
Yeah. Imaging lab at the school. These differences persisted even when people with some history of brain injury were excluded from the analysis. Another research group, this one hired by the intelligence community itself, also claimed that the most likely explanation for Havana syndrome might be some sort of electromagnetic weapon. Intelligence officials came out against this interpretation weeks before the study was published. So that's our article there.
Yeah. So when you first said the title, I thought it was going to be the CIA was deterring people.
I thought so too.
You know, from complying with the study. But yeah, it turns out they were
Just highly
telling them-
unethical.
Well, no, they were telling them to participate, which sounds like they wanted, evidence that it was a weapon.
Right. Now, the question is, if it's a weapon, did we figure out who we thought was doing it? Like Russia?
So, if it was some type of weapon, yeah, it couldn't have been. I don't think it could have been Cuba because it was something that even we haven't at least acknowledged that we've come up with.
Cuba, the most they could do is take like a 1950s Chevy and like put it in the window.
I'm not saying they aren't ingenious people and
No, but they don't have
sounds
the
like
resources.
It sounds like something that would take some very high level, physicists and stuff to engineer.
So,
And I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of hard to wrap my brain around it actually being a weapon because it seems pretty flaccid for a weapon.
flaccid.
These were people. Where did these people work that got this?
They're in the
Typically,
embassies.
Yeah, embassies and
The embassies in Cuba.
and others around the
couple of
world.
other
But it was all in.
Around the world.
Mm-hmm. It was all in embassies apparently. So
I would think so. Here's something that I've never really seen covered is a lot of these people, when you do anything like this for the government, like you go into the military or you start doing this, one of the things they do is they inoculate your ass to the hilt.
oh yeah,
I mean, maybe it could have been like a bad vaccine or something, or something not.
so like the vaccine equivalent of con crud.
Yeah, they say they're showing some signs of head injuries, but who knows? Maybe all the people there played football in college or something.
Or maybe they're like that friend of ours that was looking at himself upside down in the mirror in the bathroom and raised his head up and cracked his scalp open on the bathroom sink.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I feel like this is a weapon, and I feel like this is probably, as two countries I can think of, maybe Russia, maybe China. I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like something that's effective. Like, what's the point here?
I don't know.
A few people feel bad.
And maybe it was tests, and the tests just didn't turn out. So
Why
they were
would you
like,
test it on an embassy then? Why not
I don't
test it
know.
on, I don't think it's a weapon. If anything, if I could think of anything it could be, it would be something that where the people feeling bad were a unintended side effect. Like, maybe some, high frequency radio gear or something.
Burn piles.
what was that?
Burn piles.
Burn piles?
Yeah.
Like piles of burning things and the smoke got in? Interesting.
I just don't see how, one, these are people that are in a building and you're shooting energy at them to make them feel a little bad.
Well, you have to figure out which symptoms. There's it's clusters of symptoms, but
Right.
which symptoms would actually you'd have to investigate and figure out which symptoms are just coincidental and which symptoms are like 100% consistent.
Yeah.
And there's like super vague symptoms like
Yeah, I mean stuff.
dizziness.
Yeah, a lot of the
headache.
symptoms presented are stuff that you get with just about any time you get
The
ill.
flu.
Yeah, just about anything you can contract, or even not even a disease, not even a virus, but
COVID.
Impaired concentration.
yeah, that it could have been a
Could be
lot of
hangover.
I have Havana syndrome.
yeah.
I'm living with Havana syndrome.
Look, here's the thing: is that they really had a bunch of office benders and just didn't want to admit it. So
Are you saying
Yeah,
that
hangovers explain
Yeah.
all of this.
now? Are you saying this is basically they had a '70s style Christmas party in the office, and this is what happened afterwards?
they're trying to cover for it? So they're like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's some energy weapon.
An energy weapon.
I just-
Next time I fuck up at work, I'm blaming an energy weapon.
There you go. But I don't know. My big thing about conspiracies is that the bigger the conspiracy, the harder it is to hide. This is a pretty big one, and I think the U.S. government would have some, their intelligence agencies would have some inkling about what the fuck this was.
Well, they buy into it enough that they passed an act called the Havana Act.
Well, that's
Interesting.
that's Congress, and they're just a bunch
Well,
of
yeah.
dumb fucks.
They still think the internet's made of tubes.
Yeah. So, that I think that was more reactionary.
Yeah, that's true. But what about aliens?
I mean,
That's my thing tonight. Is just what if it's aliens?
It's no less stupid, I guess.
Wow. I feel bad about suggesting it now. Fuck. Well, all right. That's.
I didn't say it was more stupid than a
Yeah.
Russian energy weapon.
Okay, but it's as
I said
stupid.
it's no less.
No less. Okay, I gotcha.
Or no more.
That's a
Maybe-
fine line.
That is a very fine line to walk. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the rest of our stories, and I've got a segment, and we don't have any questions, but we'll be back to it here in a minute. So we'll be right back after this.
Hey man, what's got you off in your phone there?
Oh, just going through all the funny Mothman memes and supernatural shit posts I've been wanting to share. I just don't know where to put the posts yet.
Don't you know about the Supernatural Selection Discord?
We have a Discord?
Yeah, for years, dude. Where have you been?
Can people chat with the hosts and get previews of upcoming episodes and generally post funny shit as much as they want with other listeners?
I mean, if that's your bag. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do that, but there are even live streaming events for the shows there, too. You've been in a few. How do you not know this stuff?
It must have been my doppelganger. How do I get into the Discord?
It's easy. Just visit discord.supernaturalselectionpod.com. Now say that 3 times fast.
Well, that's perfect. Now I can share 3 terabytes of Hollow Earth memes. Get it? Terabytes.
Never mind. Forget I said anything. Just don't do that. You should definitely not visit discord.supernaturalselectionpod.com to join the Discord. We don't want you there.
Too late. I'm already posting my alien abduction fan fiction with the general chat.
Join the hosts and listeners of Supernatural Selection on the official Discord. Just visit discord.supernaturalselectionpod.com.
Hello, and welcome back. So, time for segment 2. I guess I'm going to go ahead with my my next story, if that's okay, Mike, or do you want to do yours?
So then I'd have 2 in a row.
Yeah, you do yours first. That's
So
a good point.
Yeah. So this one's kind of a short one, but maybe we can discuss it at length a little bit.
Okay.
A Google paper from Slashdot says, titled, "A Google paper, AI potentially breaking reality is a feature, not a bug."
Wait, what?
Generative AI could, quote, distort collective understanding of socio-political reality or scientific consensus, and in many cases is already doing that, according to a new research paper from Google. One of the biggest from Google, one of the biggest companies in the world building, deploying, and promoting generative AI.
Mm-hmm.
The paper, Generative AI Misuse, a Taxonomy of Tactics and Insights from Real-World Data, PDF, was co-authored by researchers at Google's Artificial Intelligence Research Laboratory, DeepMind, its security think tank Jigsaw, and its charitable arm Google.org, and aims to classify the different ways generative AI tools are being misused by analyzing about 200 incidents of misuse as reported in the media and research papers between January 2023 and March 2024. Unlike self-serving warnings from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman or Elon Musk about the, quote, existential risks artificial and general intelligence possess to humanity, Google's research focused on real harm that generative AI is currently causing and could get worse in the future. Namely, that generative AI makes it very easy for anyone to flood the internet with generated text, audio, images, and videos.
That's true.
Much like another Google research paper about the dangers of generative AI covered recently, Google's methodology here likely undercounts instances of AI-generated harm. But the most interesting observation in the paper is that the vast majority of these harms and how they, quote, undermine public trust, as the researchers say, are often, quote, neither overtly malicious nor explicitly violate these tools, content policies, or terms of service. In other words, that type of content is a feature, not a bug.
Well, I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I don't know. Calling it a feature, not a bug, seems it would be like on purpose. I would say it's more of a side effect.
Do you have an example of this harm?
I mean,
It's been very vague about that. So
Well, I figure it's like when you Google something and
It's
it
like-
gives you the AI
y'all are
results.
about to give me examples
Yeah.
that y'all are going to make up.
No.
What does the article mean?
I mean,
Because I can make up how you can harm people with AI.
well, I can tell you exact, ones I've heard of before.
I can put Taylor Swift's head on a Fuda.
Yeah, well,
Oh, God.
I'm saying, well, I can look at the paper and find out. But there's the one that Google results said something about eating rocks. Eating small rocks was good for you.
Here's some examples. I just pulled up. Eating boogers boosts the immune system. Use your name and birthday for a memorable password. Training data is fair use. Let's see. Yes, you can use an AMD B550 motherboard with a Ryzen 7 800X3D.
I'm guessing
Okay,
those are
so-
compatible.
Those are instances of bullshit and incorrect information. Like, the world's full of that shit already with that AI.
Yeah, we just don't need AI adding more. Gasoline can be used in some cooking recipes, but it's not recommended for household cooking because it's highly flammable. Oh God, glue your cheese to your pizza. Yeah, okay, we did those on an episode. Mike, you going through the article? Or
Yeah,
the,
I mean,
the
it's
paper?
a paper, so
Yeah.
it's opinion manipulation. So it's fairly heady stuff.
I just like examples.
Yeah, they was very light on them, and the only thing really linked in the article, not even really an article, was this paper.
Well, I'm just going to say that right now David is listening to this and screaming that he's not
Yeah.
on this episode for it because David has done multiple episodes about AI.
So one of the things that lists some examples of celebrity scam ads, which involve impersonating influential figures to promote fraudulent crypto and investment schemes, were prominent in our data set.
Well, sure.
Another common strategy involving using AI-generated audio or video to impersonate trusted individuals such as loved ones or senior colleagues. I've heard of that. Like someone used, or some group was using AI to impersonate, like literally call people and say, "Dad, I'm in trouble. I need you to send me some money." And the only reason the guy even stopped to think about it was, he had heard something about this happening, so he asked, a personal question, and they were like, couldn't come up with the right answer, so he hung up and called the phone number. And they'd used number spoofing, so it showed up as his, like, say, daughter's phone number. But he hung up and called his daughter directly, and they were like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm really glad my dad's not around to get suckered into this.
That's something that has happened.
Well, and that's something I've been worried about for years. Like, when you answer these shitty phone calls, these robocalls, they can just collect your voice information.
Yeah,
and then
that's kind of what they
family
do.
members and pretend to be you.
They can collect enough voice samples to train a voice model.
I never answer my cell phone unless it's a number I recognize, and at work, all they get is wine and spirits in the quarter.
That's a little more serious than boogers or.
Yes,
Good for
very,
the
very
business.
much so.
But yeah, I kind of agree that I think the feature, not a bug thing is overstated, because I think it's more of a side effect.
Like I
Yeah,
said-
I mean, saying it's a feature.
Yeah.
To
Saying
deceive
it's
people.
it's a feature implies intent.
Yeah, it's
They're not intending to pollute the whole internet, but they're going to do it anyway because
It's an excuse like when you find a bug in Skyrim.
It's just a more advanced version of Photoshop. Like as far as
Yeah.
like faking reality.
But the problem is that, you know, being a tool that can basically, you know, you can give it. So with Photoshop, it takes, you know, you take an image file or you're creating an image file. It takes work on your part to do
You
it.
used to need an expert. Now
This,
you don't.
Yeah.
this is, you know, you can put in a, you know, 1-sentence prompt and get, you know, hundreds of words. So you're magnifying your input. It's whereas Photoshop, I would say it takes more time inputting for you to come out, unless you're, you know, talking about like writing fart in Paint Tool really big a bunch of time, you know, on a 1400 by 1800 pixel image. You know, you're putting more effort into this one Photoshop, you know, picture.
And also with AI, you can put in, make me a story about a child going on an adventure to find gold. Whereas Photoshop, I have to pull in like 3 images to make one Photoshop job.
So I could sit there if I had the
But for the
intent to do it.
purposes of scamming, it's just making it easier for
yes.
stupider people to scam
But
people.
I've moved on to talking about, you know, like polluting, like, you know,
Yeah, it's
crapping
like,
up the internet with generated content.
DeviantArt has been polluting the internet with garbage
Well,
yeah,
for
but-
20 years.
yeah, but that's handmade garbage.
But you know, if I wanted to,
I did that, damn it.
if I wanted to, I could, you know, make a website that is, you know, has all the buzzwords to catch Google's, you know, web harvester.
It's
and
spiders.
just start, you know, all day, every day, putting out, you know, content on there that's all AI generated. It's all just a bunch of crap and just a bunch of garbage that not vetted, not, you know, and it just gets hoovered up. That's kind
Right.
of, I'm not being, I also think that the problems are overstated, but I also don't, I'm not going to sit here and say there's not a problem.
Yeah.
Well, there's a problem, but people have bullshit detectors.
Most people's bullshit detectors are pretty broken.
No, they just have different different humps to get over than you do. Like, there's people that believe totally different things that you don't think are real, that think half the shit you believe is bullshit, but they don't let anything from your side of the fence get onto their side of the fence. Now, they may believe a bunch of shit that you think is stupid, but, like, people have bullshit detectors.
I've been on Facebook enough to see, like, I see, you know, my family members, you know, swallowing hook, line, and sinker these very easily to discredit things, you know, these social media, you know, baits that are like, let's try to think of the last one I saw. One of my family members like reposting. It was something I can't remember.
It was
But
one of the
I
relatives
was like,
posted
that
something
is a
weird.
weird thing. Let me look, and like within 5 seconds of Googling, I found the real answer. It was
Wasn't it
basically,
tax related or something?
yeah, it had something to do with the prime
Oh yeah.
interest tax or something. I
Prime
can't
interest tax, yeah.
remember. And it was something I was so easily to check and see that, you know, the post was an obvious lie, but they're just reposting it because it kind of sort of aligned with their, you know,
and
worldview.
It gave them an emotional response.
Yeah. And it's not an AI. Obviously, it's not an AI thing. I don't think it was AI. But it's
No.
kind of in the same field of, you know, people, the majority of people, they see something that fits how they think the world should be. And so that's the truth to them.
And I've been very, what's the term I'm looking for? I think humanity is fairly stupid.
I don't, but I
I've
think
become
that,
real bitter about it
I think the
lately,
algorithms nowadays are too good at catering to everybody. I'm not saying I'm not immune. I'm
Oh, yeah.
totally. It gets me too. And that's what makes me mad, is that when the algorithm like hones in, and like I'm sitting there and I realize I've been scrolling Facebook for like half an hour, just latching onto the algorithm's teat, because it knows just what pap to spoon feed me to keep me engaged.
Oh yeah, I need to check Facebook while we're talking about
So
that.
I want to believe people can, see the forest for the trees.
Well, and I'm not positing that people are like immune to this shit.
I think I don't know. I can't say.
This is just a new way to scam.
Yeah, I mean but I don't know. I don't know. I don't have answers. I just know there's something. It's not good. It's not. It's new. It's same, but different.
Yeah.
And it's just like email made it easier for people to scam people. This is just another thing. Eventually, it get to the point where it's so easy to scam people, nobody has anything because they're all being scammed all the time.
Or they just don't trust anything that comes near them.
Yeah, also true.
Yeah, and the zero sum of trust is also a very scary place to be.
Well, I don't trust any phone call I get that doesn't show up on my caller ID.
But when it gets so good to the point that you can't even trust the ones that do show up on your caller, because now they can spoof your call. Like if someone had the right information, they could spoof Kevin's number, call you, and have a AI voice model that's trained on Kevin to talk to you and say, Warren, I'm in big trouble. I need $100. Otherwise, I'm going to jail or something, or I don't know. They come up with something more believable, because I'm not.
And the thing is, that one in particular has been an email thing for a long time, and a messenger thing. Like I remember, someone I worked with fell for one of those one time, or started to, and I had to say something. I'd call them first.
It just sounds like a scary place to where, unless you're meeting someone in person, you can't believe anything at all. That scares the shit out of me. To not be able to trust anything I hear or read or anything like that.
Never trust nobody.
Then
damn straight.
Then I'm gonna go live in a freaking shack in the woods, because why have any connection to anything at all? Because
now you're talking sense, Mike.
Mike, you can build your shack next to my shack.
But
we
how's
can
that
have a
talking
shack
sense?
community.
Because I won't have any information, any knowledge. Might as well just shoot myself in the head, because I'll have nothing.
That's one possible outcome.
I mean, if I can't trust anything, what's the point of everything?
You have to start over.
I mean, we just have to burn the world down then.
I've been saying that for a very long time now.
String up all the tech billionaires.
Yes.
You have to start over with how you understand the world, how you determine what's real and what's not.
Burn it down. Burn
but
all
you're
of it
talking
down.
You're talking about a post anything world. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you can't trust anything, then you literally can't trust anything. If you can't trust it, then there's no point in interfacing with it.
Well, I mean, we can jump straight to that and talk about how the world's a simulation.
Oh, God.
You can't trust anything.
That's a whole episode I've, not done.
I'm just saying, as the world in its current
Specifically
state.
because of that.
It's obviously, I don't know. I think we have to move on. Otherwise, we'll just be sitting here all night talking about this.
It's a hell of a topic.
It's just...
Yeah, this is why every time we do an AI episode, I'm like, I want to burn the world down.
It's because we don't really know exactly what things are going to be like in 10 years or 15 years.
I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, honestly. Hey, Kevin here. Hope you're enjoying the episode.
Hey, who are you talking to, Kevin?
Listeners of our shows, I also want to let them know that if they're enjoying what we've been doing, they can support us on Patreon.
Oh, Patreon. Were you going to tell them about the early episodes? Also, Patreon exclusive episodes that can be found there too?
Well, yeah, I was going to do the
whole yeah, and then there's the other cool stuff, including art, merch for subscribers, like tote bags, hoodies, shirts, mugs.
Yeah, and
can you believe people could support us for only $5 a month? You're definitely going to mention that too, right?
I was. Support Supernatural Selection and the Distraction Hole on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. Visit patreon.supernaturalselectionpod.com to learn more and get started today. All right, and we're back after a very small intermission. I want to thank Warren for being on the show. He had to run. He had a previous engagement. I hope you enjoyed him being on the show. I know I was glad to have him. We haven't done a podcast with him in a very, very long time, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so next story is back to something a little less existential, sort of. And it's from a source I've never heard of, which is Daily Express US. Website is the-express.com. I don't know how much I trust this. I don't know if I trust a news source with a big American flag in the logo. But Earth's giant gateway to hell triples in size in 30 years and is visible from space.
What?
The terrifying hole is known as the Gateway to the Underworld or Gateway to Hell. This is an article by Adam Kaler and Bridget Brown, my bad. And this is from September 2nd. I've heard of this thing. A colossal chasm in Siberia, ominously known as the Gateway to Hell, has seen its size balloon threefold since 1991, and scientists say it may reveal secrets about Earth's past. The megaslump, it's a hell of a word, the megaslump, a vast collapsed area of permafrost on a hillside, goes by the official name Batagay and ranks as the planet's second oldest permafrost. Permafrost is becoming an issue with new threats revealed as the ice melts. In December 2023, a brave explorer walked into a separate hell gateway in Turkmenistan, which was thought to be the world's biggest, but the Siberia hole appears to be expanding. Now so immense that it is observable from space, this hole, named Batagayka, is drawing scientific interest worldwide as researchers ponder what insights it might offer into our world's history. Roger Michaelides, a geophysicist at Washington University, shared insights with Business Insider about its significance. Quote, "You're talking mostly about frozen dirt underground, which by definition you often can't see unless it's been exposed somehow, like in this mega slump." Megaslump sounds like something that happens when I don't draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. He believes Batagayka offers a prime opportunity for understanding environmental dynamics. Quote, "I think there is a lot we can learn from Batagayka, not only in terms of understanding how Batagayka will evolve with time, but also how similar features might develop and evolve over the Arctic." Michaelides highlighted the broader implications despite disparities in scale. Quote, "Even if they're a tenth of 100th the size of Batagayka, the physics is fundamentally the same." Local residents of Yakutia, Russia, were the first to notice the ominous permafrost after being disturbed by bone-chilling booms and screams emanating from the aberration, leading them to dub it the Gateway to the Underworld. And that's the article. Oh, no, it isn't. Sorry. The land at the site was permanently frozen during the Quaternary Ice Age 2.58 million years ago. However, when the forest area was cleared in the 1960s, sunlight began to warm the ground, causing the ice in the soil to melt and the ground to compact, slump, and subside. There are fears that this could lead to most of the land being engulfed and pose a threat to nearby villages as more of the surrounding area starts to melt, a process which would be impossible to halt. And that's actually the end of the article. Now, I've heard of multiple holes in Russia,
Yeah.
known as the gateway to hell. I thought this was the big drill hole
Yeah.
that they stuck the microphone down and it sounds like screaming souls.
Yeah.
But, apparently Russia is just on top of the gateway to hell.
They just have multiple gateways to hell. They don't have any highways to hell, though.
Now, the funny thing is, you get down there and Putin is there
Yeah.
and he's just bilocated.
So have you seen pictures of it? Is there
I
pictures in
haven't.
the article?
There's a picture from space, but I haven't really seen it. Let me look it up.
It's kind of underwhelming for the
Mhm.
name because it's literally just a sunken bit of, earth. Kind of looks like a jellyfish or something, like a sperm maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Okay. No, not the gas crater.
Yeah,
Damn it.
no, that's a different one. Not the Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan.
I'm
That thing's more hell-like because it's on fire.
Yeah, that is. It's pretty bad. Yeah, wow. Okay, it looks like a tadpole or a sperm.
Yeah, now seeing a sequence of it, like it's a gradual, embiggening. If you look through, you should see some that have like a bunch of pictures. Like
Yeah, I mean it's really interesting looking.
So,
it's basically collapsed ground.
yeah. So, I'm sure scientifically very interesting, but I think it's very oversold as the gateway to hell.
Right. And I feel like the screaming is just the
Listen.
sound of the earth.
Probably. There's a lot of like things that turn out are attributed, come from, earth tectonic and other activity.
Earth
But-
lights.
Yeah. They really should get who is that? Is it Pantera? Are they the Cowboys from Hell?
Yes.
Yeah, should get Pantera to play there.
Oh, that would be
Be the
badass.
Cowboys from Hell at the Gateway to Hell.
Yeah. It could be called the Going Home concert.
There you go.
Yeah, that'd be
I
badass.
think one of them died though, so I don't think that
What?
might happen.
Oh, that
Didn't
sucks.
Pantera die?
I don't know.
I think so.
Damn it.
I think it was Dimebag. I think Dimebag died.
Yeah, Dimebag's been dead for a while.
Okay, so yeah, no Pantera, I don't think.
I'm looking up if Pantera's still around because now I'm like, it. Okay, as of last year, Pantera to tour in 2023 for first time in 20 years.
Oh.
So
Maybe they could.
they're back.
So you hear that, Pantera? Just go to Russia, go
Yeah.
to Siberia, even though there's all these restrictions and stuff, still just,
Did they do Cemetery Gates?
yes.
They gotta play Cemetery Gates
Yeah,
at the
Gateway to Hell.
Gateway to Hell. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Come on, guys, get to it.
We're at the Gateway to Hell.
I don't know
It's
any
like
other
Cowboys
music,
from Hell.
unfortunately. So I just remember one of our friends playing Cemetery Gates constantly
Yeah.
on the guitar. So yeah, that's it's certainly interesting. I thought it would be the drill hole growing, but apparently not.
Nope.
Again, why vet articles?
Too many gateways to hell in Russia.
Uh,
What's it say about Russia?
Again, that it's right over hell and Putin's under it. So, anyway, that's my last actual article there. Mike, what have you got for your
my
next one?
My last story is another one from Gizmodo from Adam Kovac, July 22nd.
I'm actually familiar with him.
Scientists shocked
Shocked.
by electric rocks producing oxygen in deep ocean.
Wait, do fucking what now?
Precious, life-sustaining oxygen is being produced in a place that nobody expected it, but you won't be able to breathe it in. The surprising discovery is found in the Pacific Ocean, 1,300 feet or 3,962 meters below the surface. For comparison's sake, the Titanic is 12,000 feet, or 3,800 meters deep in the Atlantic. It's not the presence of oxygen that's surprising, as the element is one of the two components of water. It's surprising that the element is actually being manufactured by metallic minerals, a shocking reveal given most scientists believe only living photosynthetic organisms like plants and algae were responsible for producing our planet's oxygen. Quote, for aerobic life to begin on the planet, there had to be oxygen, and our understanding has been that Earth's oxygen supply began with photosynthetic organisms, as Andrew Sweetman, a researcher with the Scottish Association for Marine Science, explained in a press release. Man, if I could do a Scottish accent, I'd so...
Oh, I don't want to piss anyone off.
But we're now...
Oh my God, that was terrible.
Yeah, I would have to practice that. But we now know that there is oxygen produced in the deep sea where there is no light. I think we, therefore, need to revisit questions like, where could aerobic life have begun? Strange readings. Sweetman and his team discovered evidence of oxygen production while collecting samples during field work on the seabed of the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, a large mountainous formation far off the coast of South America. At first, the discovery of oxygen led Sweetman to believe his equipment was busted. When we first got this data, we thought the sensors were faulty because every study ever done in the deep sea has only seen oxygen being consumed rather than produced, he said. We would come home and recalibrate the sensors, but over the course of 10 years, these strange oxygen readings kept showing up. Sweetman contacted Northwestern University chemist Franz Geiger. That's if you need a chemist, someone named Geiger sounds like a really good one to go to.
Oh yeah, that's your man.
For help explaining his findings. Geiger determined that the natural mineral deposits on the ocean floor, called polymetallic nodules, contain elements including cobalt, nickel, copper, lithium, and manganese, all of which are critical components of batteries. Geiger had previously found that combining rust with salt water generates electricity and hypothesized that the nodules could produce enough electricity to produce oxygen.
That's
a process
weird.
Called seawater electrolysis. Sweetwater
electrolysis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, a natural geobattery. When investigating a single sample of the nodules, the researchers found it produced 0.95 volts of power, which is 2/3 of the amount required for seawater electrolysis. It appears that we discovered a natural geobattery, Geiger said. These geobatteries are the basis for a possible explanation of the ocean's dark oxygen production. The discovery could have large-scale implications for how we treat the most remote and inhospitable parts of the planet for human life. Quote, several large-scale mining companies now aim to extract these precious elements from the seafloor.
Oh, of course.
At depths of over 10,000 to 20,000 feet below the surface, said Geiger. We need to rethink how we mine these minerals so that we do not deplete the oxygen source for deep-sea life. So I think we had talked about that before, about some guys plan to mine the ocean for battery making materials.
Right, I think so.
And this is the same thing. That's why I put this on here, because that's what the nodules are what they wanted to mine. But it turns out that they're probably useful in the ecosystem, because like anything in the ecosystem,
it's there for a reason.
It's not there for a reason, but the life has adapted to its properties around it. So when you start wholesale removing it, you start impacting the ecosystem.
Right.
So, things have, and like it says, there's probably more life in that area than normally would be because of the oxygen levels. And if you start removing those minerals, you're going to drop oxygen levels, which is going to die off a lot of those aminals.
Aminals?
Yep. So, don't. And the other thing is that other than let me see. Let me go back to where it said what the minerals were. So cobalt's kind of hard to get. Nickel's easy. Copper, middling. Lithium, pretty rare. Manganese, I'm not sure about manganese. I'm not too hip on my manganese facts. But and I don't think manganese is really needed for battery tech. But really, I think probably the big ones would be cobalt and lithium. But luckily, we're having pretty good advancements in having batteries that don't need those kind of rare earth elements. Don't need lithium and probably don't need cobalt. Because Toyota's going to start selling cars with a sulfur ion battery, which is supposed to be both more durable than lithium ion, and be more power dense. So, and cheaper to manufacture because it doesn't require expensive ass lithium be mined. So hopefully these technologies just mean we don't have to fuck up this interesting ecosystem.
Right.
Just for our, batteries to stick in our iPhones and our cars.
Yeah, I don't know why the first thing I thought of was Tesla.
Or vibrators.
Yes. Tectonic dildonics is a big deal.
Yes. So, I mean, it's interesting,
I'm still just weirded out by oxygen from rocks, Well, I mean,
so it's not you understand what's going on. The rocks themselves aren't releasing oxygen, but because they have the close to the correct things needed for a battery, and that seawater is in itself an electrolyte, they're creating it's like a natural version of the Baghdad battery.
Right. No, I understand that. I just still think it's. Yeah.
And so it's electrically, charging the seawater, and that's slowly basically electrolyzing the hydrogen and oxygen in the water.
So it's separating it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It's just weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, so would it be weird for you to know that there are what are called natural nuclear reactors?
I know about natural nuclear reactors, actually.
So it's the same thing. Anything we create, there's probably, odds are saying there's probably a not optimized natural version of it.
Ballpoint pens.
I mean, it's possible. I mean,
ballpoint pen trees, everybody. No, I'm actually thinking about Douglas Adams with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just think about it. You're just thinking about it. It's the infinite number of monkeys on typewriters.
No, I know. It's that was the whole thing in Hitchhikers, where he said, in an infinite universe, very few things have to be manufactured.
Yeah. Well, I think in this case, though, it's like nothing's going to get it. Random chance isn't going to get it as good as what we could. Although it would be funny to come across the naturally occurring, microchip.
Okay, what about a naturally occurring corn dog?
Gosh, I'd feel for animals that had to all die together to make that thing happen.
Well, I mean, those cattails that grow in marshes, but it's actually a corn dog.
Well, see, that's different though. That's a completely different direction than what I'm talking about.
No, I understand. I'm just being funny.
Yeah.
Also, I would actually take that as absolute proof of God, because it would mean he loves us.
It'd be like, stumbling across a river of beer that wasn't from a brewery mishap.
Yes, that would be incredibly strange.
A natural spring of beer wells forth from the mountain.
I don't know if Austin listens to this show, but you got his attention with that. In fact, I'm willing to wager he downloaded this episode just to hear that. I heard naturally occurring beer. Do you remember there was I think it was Norwegian Cruise Line commercial, and it showed the ocean at sunset, and it had the music from Rocky playing, and just the word beer appeared on the screen, and he just, an entire ocean of beer.
Oh yeah.
Dare I swim in thine frothy depths? And then the boat came in, and he was like, damn it.
Yeah, because it was all golden. And
Yeah, he thought it was
off the waves.
literally an ocean of beer. I was like, how much drugs are you doing? Anyway, nonetheless, very interesting. I do find it's happening naturally, meaning that, yeah, I don't want them to fuck it up.
Yeah, and so I have to assume. Well, so I don't know if there's any speculation about why these nodules are there, but
Don't say nodules. It sounds dirty.
well, considering they seem to be just sitting on the surface of the ocean, I have to wonder if it was something like, say, an exploded meteor or something, because I don't know. It is a very odd collection of elements.
It's an odd collection of incidents to make this happen.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the makeup of it is weird.
Right.
And the fact that they're sitting there, it's not like a rock outcropping of the ocean floor. It's just rocks sitting on the sand
Right.
in the ocean floor, which doesn't happen very often. Like,
No.
a bunch of rocks that are very similar in composition, but are not a normal. It's not just regular freaking rock.
No, I got you. Mike, do you think it was Jesus?
I mean, it was something like this. It's when you look at it, and you could almost say, like, well, maybe it was aliens, because it's not a normal thing to have on the ocean floor.
I'm so glad I've got you recorded saying that.
I said almost.
I know. I'm going to edit it and take the almost out and post it on the Discord and be like, look what Mike said. No, I'm kidding.
But it's that odd, though.
It is. It's very fucking strange.
Because these are, like I said, these are elements that you don't usually find in these concentrations in just normal rocks sitting around.
Right.
You have to mine for it. You have to go, dig for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was either best I can think of, it was some kind of like volcanic eruption that sowed these around, or it was a meteor that maybe held together enough to not break up in the atmosphere when it hit the ocean.
You said the volcanic thing, and I'm sitting here going, maybe, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it would just have to be a really weird eruption of this kind of weird metallic rock.
Yeah.
So yeah, just one of those weirdo things.
It's weird and interesting and kind of cool. So, thank you for that, Mike.
You're welcome.
Now it's time for our segment this week, which is Read It Already. So, I wish David were here for this one. I miss his laughter when I do these, but r/high strangeness once again coming in at the clutch. Alien conspiracy theory. What's your theories about UFOs/aliens? So, the first post is from Vegetable Course 6657. Aliens found us living like apes. Some of them thought we had potential for much more, so they helped us along, pushing us in the right directions, intervening covertly or lightly when need be. But it turned out we just can't handle not being monkeys. We go mad and our civilizations fall to ruin like the mice in Mice Heaven. So now they feel responsible for us and are hanging around doing basic caretaking, some of them still hoping something may come of us. And there's a response to that saying, so basically you think aliens are just kind idiots. And his response is, I think aliens are a series of tubes. So, let's see. The next one. There seems to be more than one group that's visiting Earth, so hard to say. Let's see. My opinion. They're just waiting for humanity to overcome their animalistic nature. We've all heard that aliens aren't contacting us because humanity isn't ready for it yet. I think one of the main reasons why is because humans are still stuck on the animalistic nature of fear, greed, and survival. It's no surprise that when inventors create new technologies that can improve humanity, they somehow end up dead and their work gets destroyed. Even today, we are still afraid of what's unfamiliar to us. Look at our society, and we still see that people hate each other just by the color of their skin. Modern food, religion, healthcare, and government all seems to be driven by greed. I genuinely believe that if the aliens started out in a similar situation as us, they somehow figured out a way to transcend their animalistic mindset and begin working collectively for the benefit of the whole and the advancement of science and spirituality. And because they live by, quote, higher principles, they cannot reveal themselves to us yet. They can only nudge humanity in the right direction and shut off a few nuclear bases along the way. Okay. They're not aliens at all. They're the descendants of a group of humans who built a technologically advanced civilization in the past. That technologically advanced civilization destroyed itself somehow. They are the survivors. We dig up their technology in archaeological digs sometimes, like the airplane in a cave in Papua New Guinea. What? Sometimes they come back, and that's when they fly through our skies. Obviously, the government would cover this up because they wouldn't want the public to know that they've been actively lying about world history and suppressing scientific discoveries found via archaeological digs. And somebody just, you got a source on the plane in Papua New Guinea?
Yeah.
And his response, I'm afraid it's hearsay, but I thought it might match up with Ross Coulthard's claim that the craft that's so big they built a building over it, but it's not in the United States.
Yeah, I Googled that and I can't find anything about it.
Yeah, I figured. And someone's response, ancient astronaut theorists say yes. Of course, future humans. Let's see. Pick out a couple more. They are from here. They fled this planet shortly before the Younger Dryas started everything. They have been trying to live in Alpha Centauri ever since. The 3-star system has proven to be problematic. They're headed back now to reclaim what was once theirs. James Webb agrees. Okay. Oh, wow. Yep, here we go. This is Old Crow 2nd edition posted this. I'm wondering if they mean the booze.
Could be.
Okay, his comment. That aliens as a spirituality religion is being pushed as a psyop. And someone said, say more. I think it's a 2-part problem, but I want to preface this by saying I don't have an insider. I can't provide a name or proof outside of anecdotes, and nothing I say will be as attractive as the idea that godlike aliens love you and want you to be happy.
Trust me, bro. It's vibes.
Yeah. What I have seen is that people in the UFO community have shifted from literal aliens to spiritual aliens and changed their whole narratives. I think this is because it's tied to their livelihood. It's hard when you can keep promising the news will come out and it never does. So to keep books selling and appearance checks coming, you pivot, you ache it about faith, you move it from the physical and the literal to now. So now everything is valid and business continues. Now, Old Crow, that's not what a psyop is, and you're right. Still no period in sight. Part 2 of the psyop recently in America, you started to see the far right become more and more associated with conspiracies. In my opinion, this an intentional tactic because the American far right has shown it as a vested interest in creating a climate where truth and facts don't exist and replace them with confusion and offering secret real knowledge. I think they saw the first thing I mentioned that became a seed for misinformation. And the response to that is, word.
Say what? My response would have been, what?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of... Actually, there's not a lot of theories in here. There's only like 3 others and 1 deleted one. That was apparently a bot So, anyway, out there in podcast land, if you're a listener, contact us at team@supernatpod.rocks. Sorry, team@supernaturalselectionpod.com, or on our Discord, or use the contact form on our website. Tell us a alien conspiracy theory you believe in, or an alternative theory to aliens. We'd love to hear them, and we'll read them on the next Weekend Weird if you do. So, Mike, you got anything else you want to bring up? Any plugs?
No.
Butt plug?
No.
Butt plug? Okay.
No.
All right. Are you turgid? I didn't ask this week. Are you turgid?
No.
Okay.
I'm not detergent.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, thanks everybody for listening. If you would like to learn more about the show, head to supernatpod.rocks. That is supernatpod.rocks. You can find a link to our Discord, our Patreon, our merch store. Our contact information is on there. You can advertise with us, $2 a show. We have multiple ad spots for that. Again, we would love to see you on the Discord. Join in the Peanut Gallery. And we got some really great people in there. We got Allie Bear. We got Lenora. We have got myself and the other hosts. We got Mad Scott. We got... looking up the username because I always forget it. Damn it. When was the last time he posted? We also have Darth Plato in there, so that's always fun. Cuba Duba, who Mike and I used to work with.
Okay.
And also, congratulations, Fry Hide, for the birth of your child. You know, just congratulations on that. It's a beautiful baby. But yeah, that's it for this week. We will see you next week with another Weekend Weird. David should be back with us. So until then, everybody stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye. Oxygen rocks.
Yeah, I had something earlier to say here, but I just kind of forgot about it.
What is that?
I forgot about it.
Oh, you completely forgot it. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
It just fucked off out of my head.
Out your head.
Yep.
Damn.
Sorry.
Next
Sorry
time.
to disappoint the people, but
Yeah. There's always next time.